Gather round, saints, gather round. We are here for the Church of P-Funk, Uncut Funk, the bomb. Yeah. Share this shit. Can't share the Twitter because I'm in Twitter jail. But come on in here, come on in here, come on in here. There's too many goddamn lights on. Shit. Oh, niggas got the porch lights on. I'm like when it's dark out here. What's up, Cleveland 216? What's up, Jay Marcus? Ty Quinn Campbell? I got this. I'm talking like them old niggas. Y'all know how them old niggas be talking? When they got that cigarette in their mouth? Yeah, I'm talking like them old niggas. You know what I mean? Well, I got the blunt in my mouth instead of the cigarette in my mouth. What's up, Milton? What's up, Rob Trimble? B Polly. C Vesey. What's up, y'all? I'm gonna let the room get a little more crowded because I was like, I'm gonna go live with y'all. I didn't know what I was gonna talk about, but then I saw some shit right before I came on, and so what I did was I put the link in the description bar because I'm on my phone on my porch right now. I'm not on my computer. I'm sitting on the porch because it's still 80 degrees out here in LA at nighttime. I ain't gonna be sitting in the house in this good ass weather. Shit. I got some wine. I got some Clone 4. I think that's a mixture of Pinot and Cab in a metal barrel, not a clone. The clones are done in a metal barrel, not instead of an oak barrel. Shit. So I put the description for what I'm talking. I put the link to what I'm talking about in the description bar, so I can sit on my porch and smoke my weed. Oh, what's up, G Mars? You said it's 40. Where you at? 40 degrees? Oh, Birmingham, Alabama? Shit. 40 degrees? Even when it get cold in LA, it ain't gonna get that goddamn cold. Well, LA, no, I take it back. LA is good for 40 degrees. Oh, it'll get down to 40 7 or 8 nights out of the year. 7, maybe 5 nights out of the year. It may drop down to 40 degrees like at 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning. I ain't with it. As a matter of fact, I just got off my bike. 30 degrees in Kansas City? Shit. Oh yeah, Roland did have a video claiming he G-checked Khalid Muhammad. Man, if Roland Martin thought about saying anything to Khalid Muhammad other than respect, Khalid Muhammad would have whooped his motherfucking ass. Like, y'all remember like the old episodes of Heathcliff cartoons when we was kids? I used to love Heathcliff. Man, motherfucker, Khalid Muhammad would have beat Roland Martin like Heathcliff beat up the fat cats. Roland Martin would have looked like Martin on that episode when Tommy Hearns whooped his ass. What's up, Tino? I gotta hit them. I'm on live. I gotta hit that driving range, bruh. Every time I see you with them golf clubs, man. Shit. Yeah, man. All right, dog. Yeah. Shit, my neighbor be going golfing. How you forget about Heathcliff? That's the greatest cartoon ever. What's up, Miss D? Well, yeah, but so for those of you who don't know, Roland Martin was on this show, and at the end of this show, he was talking about how Roland Martin basically said, you notice Roland Martin likes calling anybody who doesn't agree with him stupid? And he said, in his zesty fashion, Anybody that's following anybody in the new black media, if they tweet that to me, I'm blocking them. Blocked. All right, Roland. Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks tried that same strategy. And they blocked their asses they blocked their way into oblivion. When was the last time you've ever heard about or even cared about anything that Tone or Yvette said? You know what I mean? All right, go ahead and block your way into their level of relevance. Go right ahead, brother. See, this is the thing about Roland Martin. Right ahead, brother. See, this is the thing about Roland Martin. One thing he doesn't understand, and this is something I want to point out about Roland, and I'm gonna get up more into it. But this is what Roland Martin don't understand. He don't understand that for those of us millennials who are in our early 40s and people in their late 30s and people into their Generation X, into their mid to late 40s and into your 50s, Roland Martin had about a 10 or 15 year head start, 20-year head start of the new black media. See, here in LA, we didn't never really have the Tom Joyner Morning Show, so I don't remember Roland from the Tom Joyner Morning Show. In LA, we had Cliff Winston and Janine Heidel. See, if you know LA, man, it was John London in a house party on the beat. It was Cliff Winston on KJLH, and then after John and Big Boy on Power 106. And then when John London and the house party left, the Baker Boys had like a 6 months in the morning show, but then the Steve Harvey Morning Show took over. And the Steve Harvey Morning Show used to actually be a pretty good morning show when it was local here in LA. When I was in college, between 2000 and 2004, the Steve Harvey Morning Show was really good. When they got syndicated and went national, that's when it kind of started to get corny. Well, it kind of started to get corny the last years at KJLH, but that's another story. So we didn't really get Roland Martin like that on the Tom Joyner Show. We got Roland Martin on BET. For those of you who remember BET of the 90s, remember MTV had Kurt Loder in the news break. BET had Roland Martin in the news break. You'd be watching Video Soul, and then it'd be a quick little news break between shows. And then that's where I got introduced to Roland Martin, through BET. He was the BET version of Kurt Loder on MTV. How many of you niggas remember Kurt Loder? But G Money said Fedco. G Money brought up Fedco, La Cienega, and Rodeo Road, nigga. But what's up, all y'all? Y'all know when I go on a tangent, I'm not gonna be looking at the chat room, but I will be checking in the chat room. But when I get on the stream of thought, y'all know the rules. The people who've been here for a long time. When I get on a stream of consciousness, I don't look at the chat room because y'all be saying some very interesting things that kind of distract me when I'm on a tangent. As my wife watches some kind of horror movie in there, goddamn, it's like somebody killing somebody. What the fuck she watching? Somebody getting fucked up. Goddamn. My wife stay watching them horror movies. She's the nicest person you'd ever meet. But yeah, smash the like button. I'll be forgetting to say that. So, Roland Martin had a head start on everyone else in the new black media. I used to actually like Roland Martin. You know why I liked Roland Martin? Because I was just happy to see a black man, a black face, giving the news. And he said some things that were halfway relevant. And those of you who were around back then, you know, the consciousness of black America in 2004, 2005, 1997, 2010 even, was nowhere near where it is now. So Roland Martin had time to really give us something other than what the Democrats wanted us to hear. He had our ears with no distractions. Roland Martin had our ear with no distractions. And he blew it. Because all he wanted to talk about was going to Evelyn Champagne King concerts, summertime jazz cruises, and vote President Obama, vote. I'll tell y'all right now, Roland Martin is the first time I went, between Roland Martin and Jason Whitlock, a Republican and a Democrat, them the first two niggas that made me want to lose weight. I'm like, man, being fat mean being like Roland Martin. Ugh. That mean being like Jason Whitlock. Ugh. You know? I'm like, and he a square head fat nigga too. Roland Martin's head is shaped like a Rubik's Cube. That nigga look like the Dropbox logo. Don't he? Don't Roland Martin look like the Dropbox logo? He had a 15-year head start on the new black media. Roland Martin had more than enough time to convince us that he had the solutions. Because let's think about this. If Roland Martin had the solutions, there would never have been a need for a Jason Black or Tariq Nasheed or Professor Black Truth. Professor Black Truth, Jason Black, they literally could not exist in an environment that Roland Martin, Oprah Winfrey, and these people are giving us the information that we need. Because they had the spotlight. And if people like them had been giving us the information that we need from day one, there will be no space for the Black channel. There will be no space for Professor Black Truth. Tariq could still talk about relationships. If think about it, if Roland Martin was doing this job, and that's something I'm gonna tell. If I never met Tariq, but every now and again he may watch the show. I don't think he watches my show. We mostly interact on Twitter. But if I ever got to talk to him, if I ever got to meet Tariq this shit, I would tell him, you know, he could still be making all of his money and making way more money talking about relationships. Let me tell you about talking about relationships, man. Relationships is money. Chris Rock always said as a comedian, if you could talk about just basic things, you could sell out theaters. But if you want to sell out stadiums, you got to talk about relationships. Relationships, and Tariq was right in the middle of all that 20 years ago with the Mac Less's book. I never read the Mac Less's books because I was always okay with the ladies. But a lot of you niggas needed that. A lot of niggas and women needed that. Thank God I had a father that put me up on game real early. But Tariq was at the head of that. He probably have as much, I'm sure, because Hidden Colors is worldwide, so I'm sure I made a lot of bread. But as much bread as Hidden Colors made, I'm sure Tariq could have made 5 times that talking relationships. And I'm sure he would have taken that route had the black media class, Roland Martin, Oprah Winfrey, all them CNN, MSNBC niggas, if they were doing their jobs, we wouldn't need us. The new black media, those guys, they only exist because Roland Martin failed. Roland Martin failed. He had our ears first. I remember watching Roland Martin when he had a full head of hair. He looked like the fat Congo player for the group Shy. Lay down and tell me what's on your mind. Remember that group? He looked like he could have been the nigga that played the triangle for Next. With that motherfucker looked like Al B. Unsure with his hair. Al Al B. Not so sure. You know what I mean? People like brother Jason Black, we wouldn't need Jason Black if Roland Martin was inviting Claude Anderson on as a regular guest on his show in 1997, back when Black Labor, White Wealth were new books, Powernomics. If Roland Martin was bringing Dr. Claude Anderson on every 2 months to talk, or doing like what, at least we can say we want about Boyce Watkins. At least Boyce Watkins brings on Claude Anderson. Now, I know a lot of people don't like Boyce Watkins. I'm not here to talk about Boyce. We all know the post-teeth and the pre-teeth Boyce Watkins. I'm not here to criticize him. We just know when he got that new mouthpiece, certain little things changed. But Boyce Watkins is still 1,500,000 times more important to us than Roland Martin. Even if you're one of the ones who soured on Boyce Watkins, and if you have, I understand why. But he's still 100,000 times more important to us than Roland Martin ever was. Just by giving Dr. Claude Anderson a regular voice alone. So these people. Oh, I'm glad I just looked down at the chat. Somebody said the only problem is we don't know who Jason Black or Professor Black Truth is. Bullshit. And I'm not here to criticize you, brother. I'm not here to say you're bullshit. Not by any means. Matter of fact, what's your name? Elliot Thomas. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm not saying you're bullshit. I just want to make that very clear. The reason why I said that is because I literally had this conversation with somebody yesterday. Elliot Thomas, I'm not calling you bullshit. Much love and respect to you. I'm glad you brought that up. But I said bullshit because I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. And I've had this conversation before about Jason Black and Professor Black Truth. The conversation I was having yesterday, someone was saying, well, we don't know how they look. How do we know? Let me tell you something. Do you know how the air looks? Have we ever seen a radio wave? Have we ever seen a satellite signal? You don't need to see something to know if it's real or not. Your experience with the information. I don't know how these authors look to these books that I read, all right? It's a lot of authors that write books under anonymous names. But guess what? We still get the information. I grew up in the 80s and the 90s. We didn't know how our DJs looked. Some of my favorite DJs who inspired my show, Incense and Ashtrays, I will never know how they looked because I remember listening to them in the 80s and the 90s before there was any kind of internet. But I felt them. We don't need to know how Jason Black looks. We don't need to know how Professor Black Truth looks. Would it be cool to see how our brothers look one day just so we can put a face to the voice? Hell yeah, that'd be cool. But nigga, I was on Yahoo Chat back in 1997 in African-American teens, trying to get at girls that lived in motherfucking DC from LA. We didn't know how they looked, because couldn't nobody black afford no fucking scanner? If your mama didn't have a job that had a scanner, we didn't know how people looked on the internet back in the late 90s. I got a friend of mine. I know I should look now, but I got a friend of mine I met in Yahoo Chat back in 1997, in 10th grade. we we stayed in contact. When I go to the rally in DC, we gonna meet for the first time, like a friend of mine. You know what I mean? And for the first 6 years, 4 years, we was on the internet before niggas had scanners and cell phone cameras. I didn't know how that motherfucker looked. You know, hell yeah, Yahoo Chat was a shit. No, Elliot Thomas, I'm glad you brought that up, brother. Yeah, that's why in every message there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect message is. We gotta focus on the message, black people. It's not about the aesthetic. We know how Roland Martin looked, and how's that helping us? We know Roland Martin looks like a fat ass Tweety bird. We know Roland Martin looks like this motherfucker. Roland Martin look like a UPS box. And what does that do for us? We know how Don Lemon looked. Don Lemon looked like an even gayer version of John Legend. How's that helping? We know how Joy Reid looked. Joy Reid looked like she about to star in Sister Act 3. How's that helping? We know how Angela Rye looked. Now we'll say Angela Rye, yeah. Yeah. She's been one of the, all the dudes be like, yeah. Angela Rye can get it, but she ain't saying shit. That's how I'm sorry, ladies. This is how niggas think. Niggas just be like, yeah, and then we move on. And ladies, y'all know, dudes talk a good game. As much as dudes talk about, man, she can get it, 80% of them niggas they are not gonna make a move. And ladies, you know that. Niggas just talking shit. We ain't, ladies, niggas ain't shit. We ain't shit. I'm sorry, we ain't shit. We ain't shit. But we know how they look. We know how they look, and it don't mean anything. So if Jason Black, if Professor Black Truth, if we never know how they look, I'll tell you one thing. Their message, the 5 steps to Nazi Germany, I see that. I see the evidence of Jason Black's 5 steps to Nazi Germany. I ain't never seen him, but I seen them 5 steps. Nigga. I ain't never seen. And plus, it took me a minute to get into Professor Black. Professor Black Truth made me want to watch wrestling. Him and Jason Black both. Like, every time I listen to them, I feel like turning on like a 1991 wrestling match between Macho Man Randy Savage and Jake the Snake. I just want to hear one day I want to hear Professor Black Truth say, well, you know, Mean Gene. I remember watching wrestling back in the day. You know Mean Gene? I want to hear Professor Black Truth interview Mean Gene Okerlund. But Mean Gene is dead, ain't he? Shit, that ain't gonna ever happen. But if Professor Black Truth could interview Mean Gene Okerlund, man, that'd make my motherfucking day. Oh yeah, you said T-Bag gives you the Undertaker vibe. Yeah. It would be good to see how those brothers look one day. You know what I mean? It would be cool to put a face to the name. But all the work that Jason Black put in and Professor Black Truth, man, I don't ever got to see them. Because I've seen the evidence of their work. I've seen the evidence of their work. I've seen the things that they've talked about coming in society when I tuned into those brothers for the first time back in 2013, 2014. I've seen things that they said over the years happen the way they said it. Their message is perfect. Are they perfect? No. And plus, me being a card reader, I can read them by their names anyway. Y'all can't. And yes, I can read people by their assumed name also. Because anytime someone names themselves or give themselves a nickname, that nickname is an extension of their personality. It's it's the vibration that they're living under when they're communicating with me. I could read them. I'm not to y'all. But anyway, Roland Martin, you had not only more time to prove yourself than Jason Black and Professor Black Truth, but we also know how you look. And that goes a long way. And we've seen Roland Martin, and we've seen the zestiness in Roland Martin from day one. Niggas didn't really give a damn. Because when he get to saying, I don't give a damn. Anytime he says, I don't give a damn, I can't even say it like him because I ain't got that zesty twang. He got that zesty twang when he say, I don't give a damn. We've seen that. He said, I only got that stud auntie sway. Yeah. So, Roland Martin, so this is what he's doing. This is what's insulting about Roland Martin. He likes to call everybody stupid and say we don't read. Look, Roland Martin, I'm a speed reader. When I want to, whenever I tune in, I could easily read a 200-page book in less than an hour. When I speed read, I can read but usually it takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours because I slow down. Sometimes I stop and get some water. But in less than 2 hours, I can read a 250-page book, 300-page book. I read a lot, Roland Martin. But more so than reading, I read you, Roland Martin. And when I read you, I read a Decepticon. You said me and Roland Martin were the same size, man? Fuck you. Only difference between, here's the difference. Yeah, me and Roland might wear the same size, but my shirts are round around the collar, and he has square collar t-shirts to fit around that square box head of his. That's the only nigga with a square collar. If you don't get this box collar t-shirt wearing ass nigga out my face, man, this nigga Roland Martin, his head is shaped like a Lego box. Like, you remember when you was a kid and you had that Lego box with all your Legos in it? That nigga head is shaped like a Lego box. So, Roland, and to be clear, you may be asking me, why am I talking about Roland Martin this way? I'm talking about him because he's insulting me. And he's always insulting us. He's insulting you too. He's saying you don't agree with him because you're stupid. Let me tell you how I see it from my point of view. All right, and this is genuine from my heart. And anyone who's been watching me for any length of time, you know this. I salute. I got 1,000 new followers this month. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got 1,000 new followers this month. Just this month alone. Thank y'all. But so if you're new around here, notice about me. As strong as I am in my opinion, I respect everyone else's opinion with the same respect I want mine to have. So if your conclusion and your opinion takes you to another side of the planet and what I'm saying is like way off, I respect that. I'm not gonna call you stupid. Not if I feel like cracking a joke here and there, but you're not stupid. You got your own set of experiences that led you to a different conclusion, and that's fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm only gonna get to talking shit if you cross my path and call me wrong. Now, if you want to get into a direct argument with me, then I'll defend myself. But I respect people's opinion. You're not stupid, and there's there's a wide range within that. Everything. There is no black and white. Everything is a continuum. Everything is a range. So when we go deeper than that, a lot of y'all out there, some of y'all are gonna agree with 95% of what I say, disagree with 5%. Some of y'all are gonna agree with 90%, 80%. Some of y'all agree with half. It's some people out there that only agree with 20% of what I say, and the other 80% of what I say just pisses them off. So they watch just to get pissed off. I get that too. Salute to you. If I'm pissing you off right now, it's better off that I piss you off than I piss on your mama. So that's cool too. It's a range within everything. You got people who love my social commentary but hate the fact that I read playing cards. There's people out there who listen to me. Y'all probably in the chat room now. Salute to you. But when I do a show reading cards, you like, what the fuck is this? And what does this nigga own? And I respect that. Because if a nigga put out some playing cards and did a reading in front of me 10 years ago, I would have thought that nigga was going to hell. I'd be like, man, let me get to church. This nigga reading cards. Jesus, forgive me. That would have been me in 2009. The fuck this nigga doing reading cards? Matthew 10, 9, and 7 says, whatever the fuck it says. Quick little tangent, then I'm gonna get back to the top. Why do church people talk different? Like, you ever notice that shit? When niggas get into church, they talk different. They start using words like multitudes. Nigga, you ain't ever said multitudes in your life, but the minute you start talking about church, God fed the multitudes. Nigga, what the fuck do multitude mean, nigga? You ever ask somebody that? They go around talking about blessed and highly favored. Why is everybody in church blessed and highly favored? Is anybody ever blessed and medium favored? All you niggas can't be highly favored. Shit, Mr. Johnson, you caught the bus to church. You cannot be highly favored. Matter of fact, it looked like Jesus said, fuck you, nigga. Now, Brother Raymond over there, he came in a Mercedes. Brother Raymond is highly favored. Sister Johnson, you caught the church van here. You medium favored. Y'all ever think about this shit? You gotta ask these questions when you go to church. Ain't nobody ever medium favored. These niggas is all highly favored. That's what I was like. That's why I be like now, when I pull out my playing cards and be reading people, and people start talking about church, I be like, okay, so which favorite are you, nigga? Highly, low, or medium? And if you highly favored and the rest of you niggas is highly favored, what's low? If you're all of y'all high. Ain't none of you niggas flying. Now, if a nigga came out of church flying like Peter Pan, okay, yeah, that nigga highly favored. That nigga get to fly. We don't. Jesus? You highly favored, Brother Roscoe. Got him flying through Greater Second Ebenezer Church of Lithonia, Georgia, and he ain't even got to drive his Cadillac no more. Saving gas. That brother's highly favored. Anyway, my bad. I just went off on a whole tangent. I hope y'all don't mind me going off on tangents. I just be having fun with y'all. This shit fun to me. I like talking. I'm a king of clubs, nigga. That's a talking ass card. Nigga, my cosmic lesson is a 10 of clubs, another talking ass card. I'm born on a Wednesday. Wednesday is a planet of communication. I'm a Gemini. That's a sign of communication. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the card of communication. Nigga, I got talking all up and down my motherfucking personal science. That's the thing about life, y'all. You got to decode your personal science. And that's why I read cards. I help people decode. Everyone has their own personal science. You got to get in touch with it and fall in love with yourself and do it your way. Always know that, man. I know that shit be sounding corny as fuck when they be like, "You're born to be different." No, nigga, you born to be yourself. Don't be corny trying to be like everybody else. Fuck everybody else. If they don't like your program, they can kiss your motherfucking ass. That's my commercial break for today. And also, lightthemood.com. Jada, the self-esteem queen, her candles are the shit. We smoke 22. It's a discount, 40% off. And also, y'all can buy my book. I released a book 2 months ago, y'all, that's published. And I don't be telling y'all about it. My bad. On Hotepish.com, you're going to see my new book. Tell It Like It Is, The Art of Loving Communication. And you also see my old book, No Time to Waste, Self-Motivation Guidebook. Both readers meant to help you find your path. And the other one, the Tell It Like It Is to help you talk to your family in a loving manner. We always say we got to keep the black family together. All right, cool. How are we going to stay together if we don't know how to fucking talk to each other? You dig? Them days of your grandfather John Henry coming home and cussing everybody out and grandma staying, them days is over. You got to know how to talk to the person you with. You got to know how to talk to your kids. Because these kids today say, fuck you in a minute. You better know how to talk to these little bastards. And that's what my book helps you out at. Quick commercial break. You said Queen of Spades? Hell yeah, Queen of Spades can cut you. You don't fucking argue with no Queen of Spades. She gonna win that shit. Because, see, a Queen of Clubs is gonna outthink you. The Queen of Spades is just gonna stab you in the heart. That's why I love doing relationship readings with my cards too. Because I can tell you right away if that relationship is gonna work and where the issues in that relationship are and how to fix your relationships and where your relationship's going wrong. If you already know that about cards, when I do relationship readings are probably my most sought after readings because I solve your relationship problems in one session. All you need is one session with me. Some maybe two if you want a little more details. But in one session, if you had an impasse with your woman, if you have a person in your life, a job that you don't know what to make the next move at, one session, we got that. We got that. We got that. We get that done in one session. And I'll make it very clear. All right? But Roland is a zesty motherfucker. Eight of Spades. Your job is to seek balance and enlightenment at Eight of Spades. That's part of your mission. You're supposed to balance the physical with the spiritual. Your spiritual life is meant to bring on your personal physical comfort. If you're not physically comfortable, that's because you're not using your faith in yourself to attain those desires within your heart. If you're an Eight of Spades person, you're supposed to be physically comfortable on earth. You're not supposed to struggle. You're not supposed to struggle. If you're struggling, that's because it's somewhere in your life path that you lost faith in yourself or never found that faith within yourself. Because as an Eight of Spades person, if you have faith within yourself, you're going to follow the things that your heart is telling you to do. And within following the things that your heart is telling you to do, you're going to have the personal wealth and the personal comforts that you desire. But get a consultation from me. I can hook you up with that. All right? What's up, Tori and Rain? But we talking about these this Roland Martin. This dude, Roland Martin insults our intelligence. And this isn't me speaking up for the new black media. I'm speaking for DwannBrown. I'm speaking for me. I only go by Dwan B because DwannBrown was taken on my Twitter handle, so I had Dwan B. And then one day, Freeze Love, I was talking to Freeze Love, and Freeze would always call me Dwan B. Dwan B. And I'd be like, all right, okay. So I kind of went with that. Anywho, Roland Martin has had DwannBrown's attention since the late 90s, when the nigga would come on after Video Soul. He had all this time to prove to himself and to prove to us that he was the source that we needed. For those of you coming in now that weren't here earlier, what I was saying was, if Roland Martin had adequately done his job, there would be no space for Tariq, Jason Black, or Professor Black Truth. They would not have needed to come on the internet to help wake us up and let us know what's going on, because we would have all known. I've been watching Roland Martin since I was a teenager. Nigga, you been on TV. Then he used to be on the MSNBC. I used to watch a lot of MSNBC in the 2000s. I remember Roland Martin coming on MSNBC. Roland Martin's head looked like your grandmama's TV, don't it? Roland Martin's head shaped like your grandmama's TV. Remember them floor mount TVs and your Nintendo and Genesis would be sitting on top of it and the cable box? This nigga Roland Martin looked like your grandmama TV with an ascot. This nigga Roland Martin's head is shaped like Rosie from the Jetsons. Y'all remember Rosie from the Jetsons? How it had the little square sides and a round face? This nigga look like a zesty version of Rosie from the Jetsons. What's up, Amara? So, this is, yes, I'm insulting Roland Martin because Roland Martin is insulting me. He's saying I'm stupid because I don't agree with him and his antics. And then he turned around, and this is how far he went. He went so far to say that he did not, that the anti-Asian hate bill and that legislation about the Asian, and when they got that money, he was saying it wasn't just for Asians. When the whole goddamn bill is full of Asian, specifically being named. What's up, man? Dude insults our intelligence and then calls us stupid for not falling for his tricks. That motherfucker Roland Martin, he was the kind of nigga, he go, y'all know them bitter dudes. They can't get with a woman, and so they call all women stupid. Oh man, women just this. Man, women just, man, that's him. It's always her fault. No, nigga, you just corny. How about that? Nigga Biz Marti said he won't have a left foot in 10 years. Supposed to call him a Groot. Yeah, why is he always wearing a kente cloth moo-moo? That's a good one, Torian. Why is he always wearing a kente cloth moo-moo? This motherfucker, he had this one moo-moo that looked like a game of Connect 4. No, Twister. What was the game? Remember that game, Twister? Man, if you don't get that cheap-ass motorcycle out of here, this nigga just finished, this nigga driving down the street in a 190cc motorcycle. This nigga done drove 10 feet since y'all heard that sound. I could have cartwheeled faster than that nigga going on that motorcycle. That nigga brought that motorcycle from 1987. Shit, that nigga had one of the motorcycles from the first Karate Kid. What kind of shit was that? I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. I be going off on tangents. But anyway, you're right. Roland Martin never got over. It's active tonight. I got a fire station right down the street from me. God damn. Go the other way. But Roland Martin never got over leaving CNN. If you don't get this old autistic ass ringer out of here, hold on. You better drive faster than that. Whoever in the back of that ambulance is about to die. Whoever's in the back of that ambulance is about to die. That nigga gonna get to the hospital 10 minutes late. Shit. What the fuck was that ambulance driver doing? This nigga was eating on the McRib while he was driving. Back to what I was talking about. I'm sitting on my porch, my motherfucker. It's hot. What was I talking about before I had that slow ass goddamn ambulance come through? And hit the like button. Oh yeah, we was talking about Roland Martin's attire. Roland Martin be having like Kmart quilts around his body. Even like you remember the old quilts at Kmart when you was a kid? Your grandma be looking through them and you be like, man, this shit ugly. But your grandma be looking at them at Kmart and you smelling that Kmart popcorn. I remember that. But now the police helicopters don't be around as much as they used to. Although about a month ago, I had the helicopter over my house for about an hour, like 4 in the morning. That shit ain't never happened over here. We got a vacant building near me, and I guess somebody wouldn't have hit out in that vacant building. That shit ain't never happened. But back in the 90s, that shit was all the goddamn time. But yeah, he really clearly don't have a wardrobe consultant. Nah, it ain't no trap house in the area. That's what made it weird. Look, I've lived in neighborhoods where that shit was normal. That shit ain't never happened over here. It was funny too. I was laughing at my wife because my wife was raised in Ladera Heights, and that's where all the rich niggas are. And that was the first time in her life she'd ever had a helicopter circling the house. I was laughing my ass off. She was like, what you laughing at? I was like, you the only black person I know that was raised in LA that ain't never had the police circling like your block with the helicopter. Back in the 90s, nigga, that was at least once a month, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Well, my wife was in Ladera during that time. She ain't never seen it like that. She was a little rich kid. I was laughing my ass off. She didn't know what to do. I'm looking outside, seeing if I can see the criminal. She's like, why you looking outside? I'm like, nigga, so I can see what's going on. Shit. This ain't nothing. Man ain't looking for me. Yeah. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So Roland Martin got caught up in that lie, talking about he didn't say Asians were the beneficiaries. Like he was saying that more people were benefited from that Asian bill. And then Tariq posted earlier today the actual bill that had the bill specifically mentioning Asians only. Basically rendering it to the fact that if anyone outside of the Asian community got it, that was just fallout, but it wasn't who it was targeted to. And that right there is why we don't respect Roland Martin. If any of Roland Martin's people are here, understand that. That's why he lost credibility, because Roland Martin had a head start on the new black media. And again, I'm not speaking up for the new black media. They can speak up for themselves. Matter of fact, they don't have to speak up for themselves. Their work speaks for itself. Consistency. consistency and information that was disseminated was useful. That's why they have the credibility that they have, Roland. It's not because they're not deceiving anyone. It's because they're targeting the most intelligent amongst us, the niche of the black community, people who can think for themselves, and people who have diverging opinions within the community. It's not a monolithic community. It's a community of people who just want information. And who's ever giving the reliable information is who gets our ear. That's really all it is. If you give reliable information, you got our ear. It's that simple, Roland. You can have all the box heads you want. You know what I mean? Your head could look like a Scion Xbox. We don't care. As long as you're giving us useful information. Look, Roland, they look at me. I'm shaped like a big ass potato. I'm a fat nigga. They still like me. I'm on camera sometime. I'm off camera sometime. You give information that people can use. Black people are tired of being lied to. Black people are tired of being lied to. I appreciate that, Quat. We're tired of being lied to. And yes, I will be at the march November 5th. I will be in D.C. Hell, oh yeah, for those of you, if you're on the East Coast, please drive down to Washington, D.C. for the rally of reparations. Be on the right side of history. I'm in L.A. I'm taking that flight. And I'm a bougie nigga, so I got a direct flight. I ain't doing no fucking layover. I ain't about to have I missed my flight. Fuck that shit. I'm the bougiest. See, I'm drinking that wine. I'm the bougiest wine drinking hood nigga you done never met in your life. I'm a South Central LA weed smoking, wine drinking, hippie, hood ass, bougie ass nigga. No. Give me that. Now, I didn't go first class. That's all the way bougie. The budget ain't right for first class. But I said, give me that extra leg room, front cabin seat, direct flight. And I'll be staying, nigga, in walking distance to that to the rally. I'm staying right in the middle of that shit. I ain't never been to Washington, D.C. either. I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all out there, you will see me. You may see me at 3 a.m. on a Lime scooter rolling past the Capitol. That'd be kind of my tradition. I'm not gonna go all the way tradition in DC, cause I ain't taking no weed with me. I am not about to fly to no DC with weed. Usually when you fly cause when you fly to LA, you can have up to an ounce of weed on you to fly out of LA. But I ain't fucking with DC. Nope, I ain't flying with shit. I'm flying square. Usually when I fly out, I have weed and I have a mushroom candy bar. And whenever I go to a new city, I like to get on some shrooms and listen to some music and walk around the city for when I was in Seattle, I walked 4 miles. Then I got on a motor scooter, on a Lime scooter to come back. Hell, one of my walks, I was live with y'all when I was in Seattle. Y'all remember that? Y'all that follow me, I was following me back then. Y'all remember that shit? I walked 2 miles on a live with y'all on Seattle. I did that right when I took my shrooms. And as soon as the shrooms started to hit, I got off my motherfucking live and got into the music. I forgot I did that in Seattle. I went live with y'all. I had just took my shroom bar. And it'll take about an hour for that shroom bar to hit. As soon as that shroom bar hit, I said, fuck y'all. I did the same thing in Austin. I did the same thing in Dallas last year. Because that's how I get, like me, I told y'all I'm a hippie. Don't follow me. Don't follow me. The official brothers in the New Black Media, they don't smoke or drink, and I respect that. I respect the fact that they don't smoke or drink. Everybody got their own thing. But I smoke and drink. Matter of fact, I told you before, I'm drinking some wine right now. Cambria Winery, Central Coast, Clone 4. It's a mixture of Pinot Noir, Cab, and I think Grenache. Central Coast, 2018. And I'm about to light my second blunt of this broadcast. I'm different. I'm not fucking with DC. Now, when I get to DC, I got people I've been knowing DC. So I could get some in DC, but I ain't fucking with DC. I ain't taking no. But one of them nights I'm out there, nigga, not at a rally, but one of them nights, nigga, I'm going to microdose on some shrooms, and I will get out in that city and get the energy, because I like to get the vibration of a city. Y'all want to know why I break music down so well? This is what I did when I went to Seattle. Why did I get on a shroom trip and get very high and go through Seattle? I walked Seattle for 5 hours listening to Jimi Hendrix. Because when I walked Seattle for them 5 hours, listen, I was in downtown. I was at the fish market. I walked down near that stadium that they have. I walked back up. I walked a good 5 miles in Seattle. But when I was walking, I really got the energy of Seattle. I was really able to understand why heavy metal, grunge, why that whole Jimi Hendrix sound, I was really able to understand why it popped off in Seattle. Seattle is such an electric city. Like, between the rain, it's so much water. It's all kinds of little islands, and electricity. Water is a generator. It gives a certain. Water is electricity. You know what I mean? So when you listen to Hendrix, all you listening to is Delta blues with Seattle energy. Oh, when I go to DC, see, I know y'all, DC people, y'all in the go-go. I'll listen to, go-go ain't my thing, but I will listen to some go-go in DC, because when I'm listening to go-go, I'll be able to better understand go-go when I'm in DC. I'll give go-go about 2 hours when I'm in DC. But other than that, nigga, when I'm in DC, I'm listening to Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds. That's what I'm listening to. When I think of Washington, D.C. music, me personally, I think of the Blackbirds. I think of Donald Byrd. I'm gonna tell you the first song I'm gonna play when I get into DC. The first song I'm gonna play is a Donald Byrd song called Wind Parade. And then the second song I'm gonna play is Rock Creek Park by the Blackbirds and Roy Ayers. Now, Roy Ayers is from LA. But there's a relationship between Roy Ayers' LA music, the LA soul, and DC soul. There's a kinship between it. And when I get to DC, I'm going to figure it out. The environment to talk to me. I allow the environment to tell me the message. That's the thing when you want to learn. When you want to learn something, you can't come in thinking you know. You have to get into the culture of that environment and listen to the music of that environment, because the music is a sonic interpretation of your physical environment. That's all music is. Music is a sonic interpretation of your physical environment. That's why every city has its own sound. And instead of coming into a new city saying my city is better, I like this, I like that, the key is to open yourself up and to know that you don't understand. I know that I don't understand. I think I know, but I haven't experienced. So when I go and I let the environment tell me what it is. That's how I get down. I allow the environment to tell me what it is. But sometimes I know people from different areas, and when I can't get to an area, and this works just as well, when you talk to people who are born and raised there, let them tell you what it is. Don't have any agenda. Don't have anything you want to get. You let them tell you. See, me personally, I don't know anybody born and raised in Seattle. I know niggas that moved to Seattle, but I don't know anybody born and raised there. Like, I knew Jamal Crawford back in the day, but that was back in high school. We ain't talked to him in years. But I don't really know nobody from Seattle like that, so I had to go and experience Seattle to understand it. I know people from D.C., but I can't wait to experience it. Yeah. So. Oh yeah, try and get some mumbo sauce. I heard about that mumbo sauce. I'm gonna try it. So it's just one of them things, man. It's about respect and knowing and so like Roland Martin, the thing with him is he don't respect us. Roland Martin, in his zesty way, don't respect us. Ooh, that was almost an accident. You dumb motherfucker. Man. Shit, I almost got in an accident yesterday. But I didn't. I was going down the 110 freeway through downtown. And it was this idiot that was coming over real fast. And I was in the fast lane. And, it was going about 60. And this idiot next to me started going, and the car in front of him hit the brakes. And his dumb ass rear-ended him. And I was on the left wall. I had no room to if he turned. That shit happened within, and I had my sunroof open too. That shit happened like within 2 feet of me. But anyway, who do I think the Gen Z version of Roland Martin is? Gen Z don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, they've been trying with Gen Z. No one's... Mark Lamont Hill was supposed to be the Gen Z version of Roland Martin. D. Ray McKesson, Angela Rye. These were the people that were supposed to be the Gen Z versions of Roland Martin. But Gen Z's like, man, fuck y'all. So I don't know if there's a Gen Z version of Roland Martin, because nobody takes Mark Lamont Hill seriously. I'm sure this new Byron Allen, the Griot, Black News, I'm sure they'll try to create a Gen Z version of Roland Martin, but it won't work. It won't work. It will not work. Yeah, I can't wait to go to DC though. I'm looking forward to that shit. And I wasn't gonna go. I wasn't gonna go. Y'all know why I'm going to? Do y'all know what really made me? Because I support everything. You know what I mean? But you know what made me? Because I was on the fence about going. Because y'all know how it is in life sometimes. When money ain't tight, but it ain't right. That's kind of the situation right now. It ain't tight, but it ain't right. So I'm thinking about it on that point of view. And then last week, Connie called me. Connie Collins, and she's helping organize it. And she was just like, Dwan. And she talked to me so matter-of-factly. It was like I was getting the talking to. And I was getting the talking to. She was like, you gotta go. I was like, yeah, I don't know, we'll see. And then Connie was like, no, you're going to the march. And I don't know if y'all ever, Connie's gonna speak at the rally, and I can't wait for y'all to hear her speak. Connie's a beautiful soul, great person. But she said it with a true, genuine heart for black people. Truly, truly, truly. Connie Collins, her heart is pure gold. But the way she said it, she was like, no, you're gonna go. And I was like, shit. Well, if Connie telling me I'm gonna go, then shit. I went right to looking for a ticket. I appreciate that, Brian. It's August 5th. I said August 5th. It's November 5th in Washington, D.C. November 5th. So when Connie told me I was going, then that was the final word. Shit. And my wife was like, I think you need to be there. Because my wife didn't even know about it. But the minute I told her about it, I was like, yeah, I told her, I was like, yeah, Ma. I was like, yeah. The way Connie said it, I gotta go. My wife was like, the rally. She's like, you bet, nigga, my wife was like, nigga, you better go. What the fuck? Fuck you hesitating for? You better go. I was like, all right. Oh, they trying to reclassify statutory rape based on gender? I can see some shit like that. I can see they're trying to do all kind of shit. But that's going to stop with us standing up to it. We don't have to conform. We don't have to conform to what they're saying, to what they want us to do. We don't have to conform. That's why I talk as freely as I talk. And it's not that I disrespect the LGBT community or the trans community. I give the LGBTQ community and the trans community the respect of being humans and their humanity. To me, there is no higher level of respect than to respect someone for their humanity. When you start to divide it, you start to lessen your humanity. So I respect people on their humanity level. But part of humanity is justice. That's part of being human too. The first law of nature is self-preservation. So in my humanity, I address people on the level of, I respect on the level of respect given. That's what my humanity tells me to do. And if you think you can trick me and pretend as a woman and make a straight person think you're a woman and you think that's okay, that means you don't respect me. So since you don't respect me, I don't respect your wishes. I'm not going to call you a woman when you were born a dude. Out of respect, out of a certain level of respect, I'll call you by your name. But I'm not going to call you a woman. I don't have to play that game. That's the game you want to play. I don't have to. You don't have to play everybody's game. Like, it's becoming cliche. Play the game. You got to play the game. What game? Whose game? What's the result if I win this game or lose that game? What's the outcome? If I win the game, what's the outcome? If I lose the game, what's the outcome? What are the rules of this game? You got to ask yourself these questions. So when I'm dealing with a group of people who take pleasure in misidentifying themselves to me, that means they don't respect me. Y'all saw my episode that I did last week. Go back and look at my episode I did with Mark Prince when we talked about Fox Soul and those trans people saying that they don't feel that they have to tell straight men that they were born a different sex. That's a lack of respect. The same way, and I'm gonna get on the, I'm gonna speak for the fellas because I am a dude. I can't. The same way as a dude, if you go in with a woman and you tell her it's gonna be all these grand things and you know it's not, that means you don't respect her. Women, you going in telling men your intentions is one thing when your intentions is something else, that means you don't respect them. And that's fine. You don't have to respect everybody. Like, respect isn't something that you have to give someone. Like, it's not a law that you respect people. But it should be an understanding that whenever you do things disrespectful to people, whenever you don't respect people, it's a good chance that level of disrespect is going to be returned to you at some point, whether immediately or in the long run. So if you walk around disrespecting other people for your personal benefit, understand that that energy is going to come back. It has to. That's law. That's law of nature. That shit has to come back. And when it come back, it is probably not going to be too pretty. So when you're dealing with the Zesty people, I don't think Roland Martin's gay. I'm not going to say he's gay. I don't think he's gay. I think he does like women. But I think he likes dookie sometimes too. Possibly, I don't know. Allegedly, I don't know. But the zestiness, like, some people think that, okay, maybe he was just raised around a bunch of women. And that could be it. He could just have a lot of the feminine characteristics. That could easily be it. But it wouldn't surprise me if every now and again, where that nigga be dancing, that nigga look like he be at sausage events. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't judge it. My thing is just be, when you're dealing with other people, let them know what it is. Whatever it is. That's respect. And when you don't respect somebody, then it's up to them how they respond. That's just law of nature right there. If you don't respect something, that's up to the person you're disrespecting on how they choose to respond. Yeah, he did claim to check Khalid Muhammad. Man. Y'all remember that game on Nintendo Ring Kings? when the boxers had them afros and them shags, and you could uppercut a nigga back to the locker room. That's what would have happened if Roland Martin thought about checking Khalid Muhammad. Y'all know when you playing Grand Theft Auto and it says wasted? That would have been the aftermath of Roland Martin trying to check Khalid Muhammad. Roland Martin reminds me of Thanksgiving. Old turkey ass nigga. He don't respect us. He don't respect us. Because he's always calling people like us stupid. Roland, if you get mad at what I'm saying, you struck first. I don't call people who listen to Roland Martin stupid. But Roland Martin, me personally, I was listening to you. Shit, 15, damn near 20 years before I found out about the new black media. You came on after Video Soul. Nigga, Donnie Simpson on the couch. It'd be like, Video Soul will go off at 7. Then the Roland Martin newsbreak would come on. And then when the 7 o'clock comes, that's time for the Laker game. Nigga, after Video Soul go off, it's time to watch the Lakers. Nick Van Exel, Shaq, Young Kobe, number 8, Chick Hearn on the broadcast, 17,505 at the Great Western Forum. If you're from LA, you know what I'm talking about. Shit, and if it was on a Thursday night, nigga, it's time to watch Martin. Watch Martin, then Living Single, and then New York Undercover, and then your night is done. But Roland Martin was on before all that. It was Roland Martin, and then Martin, and then Living Single, and Video, New York Undercover. Roland, for y'all niggas that are young, that's the context. The same niggas, when we talk about watching Martin as kids, when we talk about watching Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan was on WGN TV. Y'all know I bring these stories 360. I like a full context, and I like talking about things from multiple angles. And I appreciate y'all for having the mental stamina to stick with me, because I know I can go off in tangents. So for you guys to have the mental stamina to stick with what I'm talking about, that's a testament to your ability to focus and your ability to consume information, because they tell us in today's world you can only give people in these small bits because attention spans are as low as they've ever been in human history. Well, we got 250 people up in here that ain't got no goddamn short-ass attention span. They could listen to a nigga ramble, go off on tangents, and bring it back in. So that's a testament to you guys. But Roland Martin, for those of you who aren't around in the 90s, this was before NBA League Pass. Part of the reason why Michael Jordan is as big as he is because if you had cable, you could always watch a Michael Jordan game back in the 90s. WGN TV. And you could also watch an Atlanta Hawks game. And that's why, like in the late 80s, Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins were about on the same level. Don't let them twist the story right now. In 1989, if Jordan dropped 50, Dominique Wilkins dropped 47. If Neek dropped 41, Dominique dropped 30. Jordan dropped 39. All them niggas used to be at it. Well, I'm saying all this to say this: niggas from around the country got to watch Michael Jordan play in his prime on WGN. But guess what we would do? The Michael Jordan game will go off. The Bulls would always play there at home, 7 o'clock Central Time, which is 5 o'clock LA time. We watched the Bulls game, and then when the Bulls game was over with, we turned to Rap City, or we turned to Midnight Grooves, and on commercial break in Midnight Grooves will be Roland Martin. So we would get to watch Michael Jordan in his prime, and then when we turn to Video Soul and we watching the latest Jodeci video, or goddamn, if we watching some what's that group 112 video, and I hated 112. Cupid was the only song I liked from 112. That nigga Slim from 112 sing like he got his jaw wired shut. That nigga sing like he chewing on gummy bears. Nigga, why are you singing with your mouth closed, nigga? But I digress. Roland Martin got that level of exposure. What's up, Butter Love? But for you young niggas that weren't around in the 90s, that's the exposure Roland Martin got. We would watch a Michael Jordan basketball game. Nigga, this is when DMX was at the height of his powers. This goes back to when Tupac was still alive, and Biggie. And then we watch a motherfucking Michael Jackson video, the Scream video with Janet Jackson, or the video he did with You Rock My World. And then Roland Martin would come on. Nigga, do you young niggas realize Roland Martin's news break will come on right after a Michael Jackson video? Can we tell the whole truth? Roland Martin news breaks will come on after the new Michael Jackson video just premiered on BET. That's how long we've been knowing Roland Martin. That's how long that's how long he's had a chance to make an impression on my generation. We just finished watching Michael Jordan. Martin is on next. And Roland Martin's on TV now. And he's a fucking sideshow. And the people that made him a sideshow was a brother who started talking about relationships, who only started talking about race because niggas like you wasn't doing what you should have been doing, and 2 faceless niggas with WWF wrestling voices. Like Professor Black Truth and Jason Black, man, they sound like a dope-ass 1988 tag team. They would have whooped Demolition's ass. It took 2 faceless dudes that sound like they're about to get introduced by Jim Ross to galvanize Black America. And that goes back to what I started with earlier today. It don't matter that you can't see somebody, but is what they say making an impact? Is it something that you can use? Something that you can flip into actionable knowledge and information for you? It doesn't matter. Like Torian Reigns in the chat room. I didn't know how that brother looked because I was following his YouTube channel long before I found him on Twitter. He would just have information on the screen. I didn't give a damn how he looked. I'm like, oh, but he will offer me a perspective on something that will make me be like, oh shit, okay, all right. And Torian Rain be sounding mad than a motherfucker, man. He's the most clear-talking, angry nigga you done never met in your life. He's very clear, but when Torian Rain talk, he made me feel like doing something. Like, I could never kick it with Torian Rain. He would get me fighting somebody. Like, all Torian Rain would have to do was like, him, right over there. He disrespected me. I'd be like, who? And I'll be over there beating somebody's ass, because that's how convincing, and that's how affirmative Torian Rain sounds. I don't care if I never knew how that brother looked. The information that he dropped, I don't give a damn. And what happened? Let's say, okay, let me throw a fake scenario out there. We know this ain't true. I'm just gonna make some shit up. And y'all know me, I've been drinking my wine and smoking my blunts. So I'm about to get real creative, and don't take this the wrong way. But say one day we all finally saw how Professor Black Truth looked. And say Professor Black Truth was a midget with one midget leg and one dwarf leg. And he had like a big ass head, but one leg was like 6 inches longer than the other. And he needed to walk on the little stilt things. And he had to wear a big ass boot. And would that change how you hear his information? Would that change your perspective? Like all the tangible, actionable information that he's given us over these years? Just say he looks, because you know how vain, and I'm saying this for a reason. You know how vain Americans are. And say he turns out to be somebody that isn't favorable in the perception of beauty of American standards. Would that change anything he said? Also, just say he looked like he could have been a model he could have been the main black model for Tommy Hilfiger or whatever clothing brand. I'm not into clothes like that. Whatever your favorite clothing brand. Say he was a brother that turned out to be 6 feet and a model. Would that make his message any more real than it is now? Because he looks a certain way? We got to think about these things when we say we haven't seen people like TBA and Professor Black Truth. We got to ask these questions. If I did see them, what if TBA, what if we finally saw TBA and when we saw him, he looked like Rodney King and he had a Jerry curl. What if TBA looked like Rodney King? Would you be like, oh, man, get this old can't we get along ass nigga out of my face? Would you take his message any less serious because he don't look like what we think a nigga should look? So these are just talking points I want to give the intelligent in here when people say these things. We can all share. I'm just sharing my perspective. And in sharing my perspective, I hope that you learn something and that you could take something from my perspective and actually use it for yourself. I appreciate all my Cardology clients. I got some new reviews up on my page. Salute to the brother that left me a review. I appreciate that. You're right, because there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect message is, but you gotta be willing to pick up the game. You can only get to that point when you're just looking for the game. Like, look at my channel. Sometimes I come to y'all in the dark on my porch. Sometimes I come at y'all in the studio on caffeine with some great lighting and beautiful visuals. Are my shows, is the information any different? I know when I'm on camera it's more engaging, I get that. But is the information any less, whether I'm on camera or off camera? And for me, being on camera, having that bright ass light in my eyes, shit, as high as I be, I don't want no fucking light in my eyes. I just want to come here and talk to y'all. I ain't about to get on no fucking camera. Have my eyes boiling. Now I'm uncomfortable talking to y'all. Shit, I'm gonna sit my ass on my porch, on my loud ass street, with a fire station that's right down at the end of the goddamn block, and a neighbor with a loud ass Mustang that leaves at the same time every night when I'm on these lives. The energy is different in different environments. And I'm with you, Brian. That's nothing for me. When I'm listening to a dude talk, I really don't care to look at him. I'm not about to sit there and look at a dude all day. Hell, even like on Tariq's Sunday show, usually I'm listening to Tariq while I'm driving. I'm not watching. I'm listening to the information. And then sometimes when he says something that I really need to hear, I'll just reach over and grab my phone and I'll screenshot wherever it is in the broadcast so I can go back to that particular point in the video. I'll do that when I'm driving. Like if he says something like, if he says get a book or something like that, I'll screenshot where I am while I'm driving just so I can go back to that point to get that book. Because I read books and tangents. I just stack up books, and then I'll have and it's usually in January. I'll just be wanting to read, and I'll read 15 or 20 books in a month. And then I won't read no books for 8 months. I appreciate that, Quad. Yeah. But the next Mixcloud stream is going to probably be Friday. I did one on Sunday. This past Sunday, I released 8 episodes of Incense and Ashtrays that were just only on Patreon. That cheap ass motorcycle. This past Sunday's episode is gonna be up on the Patreon tonight or tomorrow. I'll put it up. It'll be on Patreon for a few weeks. Then I'll put it up on Mixcloud. Oh, I'm about to get back to the music stuff. I am. Y'all don't understand. I'm a Gemini. I like doing a lot of different things. And I spent so much of my heart and soul into that music tree. From January to June, July, I put so much of my heart and soul into that tree. In the music stuff, I just needed a break. And if y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all see how many concerts I've been at this summer. I'll be at sometimes 1-2 concerts a week. I just had to and I only did this whole summer. Incense and Ashtrays, for the most part, been on hiatus this summer. I haven't been doing much Incense and Ashtrays. For those of you who follow that, you may notice that I haven't been doing it consistently this summer. I needed time to regroup. I put so much. I put so much of myself into that. I had to take a step back and just kind of focus on other things for a while. That's why I ain't really been doing too many music lessons. I just have to take a step back and focus on other things for a while. Because I just, when you put that much of your heart into something, you got to give your heart some time to just, just relax. You dig? But I do have I do have a documentary series coming up, and y'all about to see the trailer for it. Hopefully this weekend I'll have the trailer ready for y'all. Me and my man Hassan, he be here in the chat room sometime. You'll see him in here under Hood News TV. I'm giving the knowledge, and he directing it. He's directing it, and he's editing it. So I filmed my first episode 2 weeks ago, and the trailer for that is coming out this week. So it's going to be more than the mixed call. I'm really working with y'all. That's why I appreciate y'all Cash App donations. I put all y'all Cash App right back into what I do. And because I respect y'all so much, I say, you know what? I got to professionally, because I do know that there are people out there who are visual. So I got some very high-end equipment, a very high-end director, and we putting this shit together right. We telling the whole history of music. And the trailer is coming out. And this is all self-funded. I ain't got no Indiegogo page. I be thinking about putting one up there, but I'll be like, man, I don't be knowing if y'all gonna, people say they gonna donate. I don't be knowing. I'll see. I don't know. But I'm putting my own money into this shit. And this shit, when y'all see this, man, when y'all see this, y'all gonna be like, oh, this nigga coming with it. Watch. Yeah. I appreciate that, Butter Love. Y'all know, when I say day one, Butter Love is day one. I mean, Facebook day one. I mean, hey, if I start a podcast, would you listen day one? And she was like, hell yeah. And back when a nigga had 3 people watching, she was one of the 3. I appreciate that. Always. So there is no more day one than Butter Love. But to love. That was 11 YouTube subscribers day one. I think Butter Love, I think you're like my 11th YouTube subscriber. And the other 10 was my friends. The other 10 niggas I knew. It was all comics. Shit. But that's what it is, man. So Roland Martin, people like you, we got to see you at the end of a Michael Jackson video. You had our attention first. People aren't stupid. People just understand when they're getting better information. And it will be professional of you to understand the vibration of the people and get ahead of that and provide the resources based on the changing of times. This isn't 1997 no more. In 97, people accepted what they were told. In 2005, we was too busy listening to bling rap and partying and buying. The women in the caviar, they know who we are, because they're pimping all over the world. The fancy cars. That was the tone of the mid-2000s. The women in the caviar, they know who we are. I remember going to New Orleans for the first time. In 2004, everybody was drinking hand grenades. And it was on Bourbon Street, and it was these big-ass signs. We sell the famous hand grenades that Ludacris mentioned. And one song created a whole fucking economy, and niggas was going to New Orleans and looking for them hand grenades at Essence Fest because Ludacris said so. That was a vibration of the early 2000s. Good night, AJ. Have a good one. You call me the modern Petey Green? You a fool. But stunting was the vibration of the 2000s. That's where the consciousness was back then. I did loans back then. I remember. I would see people. I would do loans for people. And we about to do option on. We about to do a refi. Prime rate was at the time 4.25%. I'd be like, okay, if you're gonna take this money out, at least remodel your kitchen. What was they doing? Niggas was buying Lexus GS 350s. Niggas was buying Chrysler 300s. Niggas was buying Dodge Chargers. Niggas was buying F-150s out of the equity in their homes. Because Jay-Z said 30's new 20 makes him, I'm hot still, better broad, better automobile. Jay-Z said maturity is just driving a better car and having a prettier woman. That was a consciousness of the 2000s. So Roland Martin, I'm saying that to say Roland Martin can get away with that level of consciousness, with that being the mass consciousness, he could get away with it. Because we was too busy pimping all over the world and bling-blinging. Well, if Roland Martin was smart, he'd understand we're in different times now. He'd understand that. We are in different times. And instead of him catching up to the times, he's calling us stupid. You can tell I'm about to go. Yeah, so if he respected us as listeners, if he respected people, he would say, you know what? Let me catch up. But he's not going to say that. He's not going to do that. Because as we know, he's a Democratic do-boy. That's why he's always talking about giving us some money, give us some money, give us some money. We all know money controls speech. Money controls speech. So when he's saying when he wants corporations to give him money, that's him saying he'll say whatever they want for that money. And anytime a nigga is sponsored by Pepsi, Coke, Apple, or whatever major Fortune 500 company, understand that that money that they give comes at a cost. It comes with a silence. So Roland Martin, that's why people don't trust you. That's why they don't like you. Because you ain't saying what the people need to hear. And that's why they're listening to TBA, Professor Black Truth, Tariq, and the people that you're going at. Because they give verifiable information that you can use to inform your decisions on your day-to-day life and make accurate decisions. Because with accurate information, you make accurate decisions. All I gotta say in closing is this, Roland Martin. Maybe niggas was into the whipping and the caviar because you were responsible for the information that black people got. And black people did not get information. So maybe that created the environment for the spend all your money on bullshit era rap of the 2000s. The people we depended on in media to give us the real deal and tell us what it really is failed us. You and Oprah, part of that class, Roland. What's up, Quan? We've been on for damn near for over an hour, almost 2 hours. I'm about to sign out. Shit, I was wondering where Quan was. I done drank all my wine, smoked a blunt and a half. No, I didn't forget about Tom Joyner. I mentioned Tom, you must have came in late. I mentioned Tom Joyner earlier, but here in LA, we didn't get the Tom Joyner morning show. We got Cliff Winston and the House Party and Big Boy. Tom Joyner didn't have any. So I know he had the influence with the Tom Joyner show, but I'm only speaking firsthand from my experience. We didn't get the Tom Joyner show. The Tom Joyner show was here in LA for like a year after Cliff Winston left, but then they got when the Steve Harvey morning show left the beat. Steve Harvey morning show was on the beat, I think it was. Yeah, so like Tom Joyner morning show was here for like a year maybe, but that old niggas listen to that. I'm talking about the impact Roland had on us young dudes where they used to watch the Bulls and Michael Jackson videos, and Roland Martin would come on after that. See, hold on, my mom, Brother Love, you didn't get a notification? I was wondering why my moms weren't in here. So neither of my moms got notifications. Huh, okay. If you're not getting notifications, unsubscribe from my channel and then resubscribe and then hit the notification, see if that works. Unsubscribe and then resubscribe and hit the notification bell. See if that works. Yeah. I'm about to sign off because I'm high as hell right now. And I ain't got no water. I'm getting that weed cotton mouth and I ain't got no water. Man, but it feels so goddamn good here in LA right now. Yeah. Oh, you said you got one about 10 minutes after I got on? This motherfucking YouTube, boy. Hey, who's going to the rally in D.C.? Who's going to the rally in D.C.? Press number 1 if you're going to D.C. rally. The reparations November 5th. D.C. rally. If you're on the East Coast, you should go. Oh, yeah, our shit on the East Coast is close. Okay, yeah, so yeah, that's what's up. Man, that motorcycle was horrible. I hate them. Hey man, I hate them 3-wheel motorcycles. You know the ones where they have like the big ass the 3-wheel motorcycles? Those motorcycles piss me off. Nigga, you might as well get a Honda Civic with a sunroof. I hate them 3-wheel motorcycles. All right, Morris. Okay, we got three y'all going to the rally. Okay, that's what's up. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to that DC rally. Yeah, how are my mods not getting notifications? That's weird. If unsubscribing takes your mod wrench away, just let me know. I'll put the motherfucker back on. You said trying to put PTO in there for DCL. I don't remember no movie called 5th of November. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here, y'all. Roland Martin ain't shit. Roland Martin ain't shit. He disrespects our intelligence. And he's always disrespected our intelligence. But again, let me tell you something, Roland. The bling era is over with. That 2000s popping bottles culture, spend money on bullshit, that era is over with, bruh. People want what's real. People want what's real. Either you can get real or you can get the hell out of the way. But people aren't stupid. All right. Book your reading at breakthroughas.org. Get the Black American Music Family Trade in CincinnatiTrades.com. Get the t-shirts at Hotepish.com. Hit up Jada the Self-Esteem Queen. Weed Smoke 22 is a discount code. As this ambulance go by. That one's driving a little bit faster than the last one. The last one was driving slow as fuck. I think the person that was in the last ambulance died. That person might actually live. But anyway, y'all have a good one. There are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those who are willing to pick up the game. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.